Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Drizzleland. I've not done a video in a very, very long time. It feels like eons now. Um, Crazy stuff has been going on, and it's really been taking up my time. So I have not been able to do a video in a long time. Um, I want to do a subject that I think everybody kind of questions and doesn't really talk about as much. And it's mostly about how, well, I feel like people who come from families that, let's say, well, they've never really worked or had a job. Honestly, their whole entire lives, they've pretty much been privileged. Um, I just kind of want to say that I feel like people who come from those backgrounds are extremely spoiled. Um, I know people who have never paid a single bill for themselves because their parents are still paying for their car payments, for their insurance coverage, for dental work, rent, credit card debt, bills, loans, um, and what I really don't like are the people who brag about it. The morons, pardon my French, the assholes, who sit there and basically complain about their lives even though they've never paid a single bill for themselves because their parents have done it for them. It drives me absolutely nuts when I'm talking to people and when they're like, oh, well, I've never paid a bill on my own. I don't worry about those things. My parents do all that for me. My theory is, okay, let's say, because for me, for like a young age, I had my first checking account when I was 18. I was responsible for what I spent money on when I was 18 and beyond that. So, I had my first job when I was like 17. I was a busboy at a restaurant. So, here's my pet peeve with this whole situation is if you're still in your 30s or 40s or 50s or 60s or even higher than that, some people, and if you're still having your mommy and daddy check your checkbook and write checks for you, I'm sorry, but that is freaking ridiculous. So, this is mostly, I guess, a subject that I know is like common, but at the same time, I have people that I've been friends with for years, who have never written a single check from their checkbook. They've never paid a bill on a phone. They've never gone to a place and paid a bill. Some of them don't even have to worry about any of that. They just spend money like crazy and don't even worry about what's going on because their parents apparently just seem to put money in their account magically and don't even basically teach them the lesson that they should, which is, no offense, but if you screw yourself over, you're responsible for it. So, I want to know, like, do you guys know any people like this? Have you met anybody like this? The people that I'm kind of talking about, the people who get special treatment, who have people doing everything for them. Now, I understand, okay, if you are a person who, has never lived out of your parents' house or something like that, like if you've never lived on your own, I understand that situation. That's not who I'm talking about. I'm talking about the people who have lived on their own, but yet at the same time have never paid a bill on their own, never checked an account, never had a phone bill for themselves, never paid anything for themselves other than things that they want. Now, what I don't like and what really angers me and gets on my nerves are the dumbasses who sit there and brag about all the new stuff that they buy with their money. And yet, there are people who are sitting in their houses who don't have food, who don't have a phone, who don't have money for themselves because they pay bills. I'm sorry. I don't want to hear it anymore. I don't want to hear about how my mommy and my daddy waddy buy every little thing for me because I'm a freaking loser. I've heard this for so many years. It drives me nuts that there are people out here who apparently disrespect people that much to brag about what they just bought when they don't work, when they've never done any type of work their whole entire lives except sit on their fat ass on a freaking couch and have mommy and daddy mail them checks and put money in their freaking accounts. Oh God, it just drives me nuts. Ugh. And don't get me started on banks and stuff either, because like I feel like they just royally screw all of us over, because instead of working with you and trying to come up with a solution for a better system, they basically just screw us. They basically could care less if there's like no money in your account. And then you've got people who are like, oh, well, my parents pay for my tuition, my parents pay for my car payment, my parents pay for every little freaking little thing because I'm a selfish little bastard. My God. You know what I want? What I really want, more than anything? People to learn their lesson. If you spend money that you don't have, don't complain later on in the month and say, oh, I don't have this or that. Well, maybe, just maybe, if you actually learned when you were a teenager what it meant to work, what it meant to keep track of a checking account or a savings account, what it meant to actually pay bills for yourself, instead of having mommy and daddy buy you a brand new frickin' car. Oh my God, it just drives me nuts. Shit.